Hello, everyone. I want to introduce you to my friend Roxy, and we're here just to have a short conversation about email marketing and systems. And I met Roxy back in 2017, I think, and
Wow.
we immediately became sisters because we have the same last name. So
That's
my
right.
maiden name is Saran, your name is Saran, and I never met anyone else. And then we I think hooked up, and you've been able to do some really great things. It's been so nice to watch you. Here we're talking about email. So I ran into Roxy at the time we're recording this, 2 weeks ago, and she was telling me how everything was going. She said, "You'd be so proud of me. I'm emailing my team and my customers at least once a week, every single week." And so I called her later and I said, "Can you come and chat with our community? Because we want to encourage our community to start sending one or two emails to we're focusing on customers. And if your team is big enough, builders." So I would just love to hear a little bit of context, like when did you start doing email and what made you decide to do it?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, Tasha. It's always good to connect with you. Um, yeah, so I've been in this business 10 years and have sent email throughout the years, but not consistently. And previously I was doing it once a month. And then after, I don't even remember what happened, probably 2020, we'll just blame everything on that. But
Sure.
just the consistency wasn't there. It felt like everything was out of control. And so I really stripped down a lot of my paid subscriptions and things, platforms that I was using just to kind of get back to the basics. I've kind of scrapped everything to see what would stay. And email is one of the things that it was like, with such a large organization, it's like, how can you impact a lot of people? A lot of people are not on social media anymore. Some of them have left for whatever reasons. And, you might put up a post and you assume that thousands of people would see it, and they don't. And so previously I would do a video in there and thousands of people would see it. And now it'll say post 11 or post 0. And so one way I really thought we've got to get back to the granular.
Yeah.
How can I get in people's email box? And once a month was just not going to be enough. And so that's how it became. I think it was November or December last year. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to do it every week.
Pretty recently.
Yeah, pretty recently. And at first people were like, is this really you? Like, no, it's really me. It's really me. I'm sending it. When they reply back, it's me. I'm responding. And so, yeah. And I think the hardest thing is every week comes around very regularly. So
It comes around every week.
it's like, crap, it's already time to do that email thing again. Yes. So I'm always like, I've got notepads and always looking ahead. And I try to sync up the first week of the month, of course, there'll be the specials of whatever's going on. And then what do I want to say to my customers? And then what do I want to say to the team email? What's coming up, and trying to be just a couple steps ahead, have the recording from the previous week available. Yeah. And also the next topic coming up ahead, kind of a teaser to get them, into those calls. And so having to, instead of, me, I love to fly by the seat of my pants, or the shotgun approach, and having to just, I think the biggest thing is to slow down to speed up, to be able to take a few steps back, process what does the team need, what do my customers need to hear, or do you see a pattern of hearing the same questions and concerns over and over again, address it into a video or a email that you can embed in there.
Yeah, I love that. I have a few things that I'd love to follow up on. So you mentioned you're the fly by the seat of the pants person.
I used to be, yeah.
Used to be, and I'm sure that a lot of people are like, there's no way I could get organized enough to be able to send an email, or maybe I don't have that much time to work email, right? Like, what would you say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. But here's the thing. If you have however many customers you have, whether you have 10 customers or 50 customers or 1,000, however many customers you have, are you able to physically talk to each one of them once a week? And the likelihood is that even if you have 10, it's no. I mean, we're just so busy. And so email is a great way that you can get into people's email box. And if you think about, it's building rapport and consistency and authority with them when they see you, out of sight is out of mind. But when you're in their email box every week, and they may not need anything from you right now, they may even stay unread. But when you're in their email box every week, they're like, man, she's really serious about her business. And then two, when they do need something, it is there. So
I love that. So you made the commitment, and you mentioned 10 customers, 50 customers, or 1,000 customers. And I'm starting to move to the thing where like a year ago, I would have said, don't worry about this until your team is X amount of people.
right.
I think I'm ready to scrap that
Mm-hmm.
mentality, which, as long as you've known me, I tend not to scrap some of my mentalities. I tend to be pretty stubborn. I'm like, this is the way. What are your thoughts for people on this that might feel like their teams are small?
Yeah, I think it's a great muscle to build. And maybe that's a Saran thing, that you don't want to scrap something. I get it. We're scrappy. We're pretty scrappy. Don't throw anything out. You might need it. But no, I think that's a great muscle to build. Even if you have 3 customers, that you get into the habit of sending them a weekly email. Again, it builds that professionalism, and they see that you're serious about what you're doing. If someone is overwhelmed just starting, I would say start with a monthly email. Like, hey, okay, I can do that. I can get this under my belt for a couple months. It's not that bad. Another tip I have is getting your email list. First of all, like step 1, you got to get your email list. Some people don't even know how to get that information from the back office. Make sure you know how to do that. If you don't, ask for help. You can Google everything. How do you download, how do you create an Excel spreadsheet? All the things, how do you turn it into a CVS? All of those things, everything is figure outable, even if you're not good at it. I'm sure a teenager would be more than happy to help you in exchange for a Deep Blue Stick, or, whatever marketing company you're in. Get $10, whatever. There's people that know. Your 8-year-old could probably do it, so that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, everything is figure outable, but people don't even know where to begin. So get your list going first. And then the second thing I would say is so important is set a freaking 15-minute timer. I think we have so much brain drama about like, this is going to take forever. I don't know what I'm doing. But you can, when you have 0 distractions and you put your phone on airplane or whatever, and just set the darn timer and just get it out. It really, you get a lot done in 15 minutes. So
I love that. I was going to ask you, how did you overcome the tech hurdles? And so for context, most of the people that we work, they're good with people, right? The nerds, the techies, right? Like those are different types of people. So how did you overcome the tech hurdles? I think you talked about it a little bit.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I am good with people, and my husband, Adrian, is really good with the tech stuff, as you know. And so he does a lot of my funnels and a lot of the all of that really back end stuff. So all I do is write. I'm kind of spoiled in that area. All I do is write, and he makes it pretty and does all of the sending and all of those things. But I would say, again, don't let funnels scare you. Like, I've been in 10.5 years. So my chapter 1,700 doesn't need to be somebody's chapter 3 doesn't need to look like my chapter where I'm at right now. But I started with blind copying the people on my team, a week, monthly newsletter. So it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, I wouldn't even start with a funnel, because what I think, and this is why we're like, I've had so many clients so frustrated. And then as soon as we talk about this, they're like, I feel like I can breathe. And I think it's because we're afraid to grow, because we know we don't have the capability of following up with every single person individually.
Right.
And so I don't even think the funnel like is the first step. It might be the first step of like generating leads, but I think the first step for email marketing is emailing the customers you've already worked so hard to acquire, with education and with stories and all of that. So you mentioned right before we started, so you'd be like, you're so proud of me. I have this it's even a story.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about what do you send in the emails? And this is not like pre-rehearsed, guys. I haven't coached you in 3 years.
No.
But I just think you're so great. So what do you find is the kind of content that your customers like?
Yeah. Well, I think our customers are us, right? So what do we like to read? So do you want to read facts or do you want to read, like, no, that's boring. And so remember, stories sell, right? And so people love a good story. And so I love to share stories. I mean, I get testimonials every week. And so it's not hard to find content to write about. When we read something that someone used, whatever product and got whatever result, whether pink eye or whatever they had, or they pulled a muscle or whatever the case may be, we take it for granted. We're like, oh yeah, another one, that's so great. But maybe the people in your email list don't know that. Maybe they have no idea. They've had this bottle sitting there and they're not using it in that capacity. And so whatever's happening during the week, I'll just pull a little excerpt from that and highlight it in a video or a before and after picture, and share the testimonial. And the same for my team. If I have somebody on my team that had a win that week, maybe they've been talking to a sister-in-law about sharing their product for 10 years, and they finally asked them this week, okay, how can I sample? And that is huge. It's like any little step that was moving forward, we want to highlight that and show what's possible, instead of only like, you achieved the highest rank in our company, which that's wonderful, but let's celebrate, if you went live for the first time on your social media and they've never done that before and they literally peed their pants, let's honor that. Like, celebrate that. It's those what might seem little for us that might be further down the line. Remember, for somebody, that was a giant step for them to come out and say, okay, I'm doing this as a business.
Yeah. What I love about what you're saying is it's moving away from the expert model and moving toward the like lifting other people up model. And I think this is so important for especially network marketing, because what you're trying to do in network marketing is you're trying to share social proof. That's really the big skill. And I think a lot of people get really intimidated by, if I'm going to sell emails, I have to be an expert. What are your thoughts on that?
Gosh, I don't know about being an expert because I feel like I'm failing every day, but like failing forward, I think is so important. And when I do have a spelling error in there, or a graphic isn't perfect or whatever, I actually get more emails back telling me that there was something, which helps your algorithm when you get in people's box.
Helps your email open rates. Yeah.
It goes up. And so it's actually a funny thing that when you show your humanness, it actually is more relatable, because if it's always, which I like to do things with excellence. I like, my stuff to be polished. I want it to look professional. But at the same time, if something slips through and there's a spelling error in there, or a graphic didn't load properly, or whatever the case may be, or someone got the same email twice. I got one week, it accidentally sent the same email twice, and people were like blowing my phone up. We got that already last week. I'm like, good. I don't know what I wrote last week, but they read it twice. So I'm like, good. They're reading it, and it's like, sometimes we just have to laugh at ourselves. Like, we're all doing the best we can, but yeah, you don't have to be an expert.
That's so funny. It inspires me right now. And I don't know if Karen will go for it, to put in our footer, where it has like your email and the unsubscribe, put in the footer, say, disclaimer, this email was written by humans, scheduled by humans, and sent by humans who believe imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Have a great day.
Done is better than perfect. I learned that from you, Tasha.
Well, connection is better than distance, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. And I would much rather send something that's sloppy but connects with people than something that is perfect but creates distance. That's not what we're trying to do. But I love the thoughts on stories. So how does this make you feel about growing your business? Like, are you worried about taking care of people? Like, talk to me a little bit about the feelings that it gives you. We're all business owners who have stress and anxiety and are like, am I doing a good job? Right. So how does this make you feel about that?
Yeah. So I would say that prior to having a consistent follow-up and plugging people into this system, I felt overwhelmed. Honestly, I was like, it just grows so fast, so quickly for some of us. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't followed up with the person who signed up last month. And then, oh yeah, I also have all those other people, and how, I mean, there's just not enough lists and papers and reminders. And so knowing that you're funneling everybody into one spot. So once someone is enrolled, they automatically get added to my newsletter, and they're automatically enrolled in a like welcome campaign. And so that way they don't fall through the cracks anymore. And that gives me so much peace, and it brings me so much joy because I know there's good content in there. Like whether they read it now or later at some point, there's good information in there that will serve them. And maybe it's a download or a link or whatever I might have shared that week, but I know it's good stuff. I read it myself and I'm like, that's really good stuff. Like I'm
That's
proud.
good
I'm
to
proud
feel proud of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So curious, does your team, how does this work with your team? Do they funnel their customers into your email? Do they send their own? That's
a great question. So I have a pretty large organization. Well, I would consider a large organization, about 10,000 individuals worldwide. And so my key leaders that are doing their own monthly email campaigns take care of their own clients. They take care of that whole leg. The ones that do not have an active leader, I have taken those individuals in my newsletter and I sent them a welcome newsletter first, introducing myself as part of their support team. They still have their previous people. Those didn't go anywhere. I'm not replacing them, but I'm just an additional arsenal. And some unsubscribed, and that's okay. But at least I did my due diligence of not making sure people fall through. But I've built some great relationships with some of those people as well, that they're like, hey, I just felt so alone and I wasn't seen, and now I appreciate you. So, but that's how I do it. And then my personal enrollment, so my leaders that have their own systems, they get my newsletters, and I have given them full permission, like, you are more than welcome to copy this and make it your own or whatever. And I don't want any credit for it. Like, I don't care. I just want the people to get the information. So if they want to literally copy and paste it and send it out as their own, go for it. I'm happy with that. I don't care. Yeah.
That's great. That's really good advice. Because I think there's going to be some people that are going to watch this and they're like, should I do email?
Right.
Is this a good use of my time?
Yes.
Cover that.
Yes. Everybody is.
And then some people are like just really worried about the logistics of blasting everyone. So I think you did a really good job covering that. Now, most of the network marketing lists that I'm on as a customer, I don't get emails from that leader. I get texts. Thoughts on, I have my thoughts. I published them already prior to this, but what are your thoughts on text versus email?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a difference in generation of what people would say with text. Like, this younger generation is like only text. They don't really read their emails. Like I think about my college age daughter who's like, has to be reminded to check her email. Like, this email is nowhere on her radar. But like the older like us, gosh, are 40 and up. Oh my gosh. We read our emails every day. So I personally, if there's a big special or I made a big announcement, I will also send a text to my personal enrollments and those customers that I'm personally taking care of, that I've already been in their email box and I've been in their text box. I will send hey, just want to let you know I sent you an email. Please be sure to check your email. Hope you're having a one-liner. Because I had a new VA last year, and she wanted to add all of my entire downline into this new software that we were using by leg. And so if I ever wanted to email or text them, that they would be there. Accidentally, the entire downline got email and text from me. And the carrier, when you send 10,000 emails at one time, by the way, the carrier thinks you're spam, obviously. And then what happens is they split up that one text into like 5, and they can do whatever they want because and once it's in the tunnel, like, it's gone. And some of them went at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And even if they replied stop because it was originally 1, they got it all. And I'm like, my heart's racing just thinking about, like, it was a nightmare. And so I take it very, very seriously anytime any communication goes out to the entire downline, whether it's an email, whether it's a text, whatever it is, like, everything needs to be triple checked, because that's a big responsibility you have to, it has to be smart and judicious. And that was a huge mistake. And I didn't even say it was my VA's fault. I took responsibility for it, apologized, and we moved on, we learned. But I think you have to have people's permission. My personal opinion, I think you have to have people's permission to text them.
Well, it's also the law.
Yes.
There's that too. Thank you.
That small thing. That
Well, I
small
mean,
thing.
most people, that's a totally different rant about making sure that you know the laws. Like we decided we're going to start advertising in UK. And so we had to go and like, what are all the advertising laws in the UK? Because just because we live in the US doesn't mean we're exempt from following the UK's laws on advertising. And so a quick Google search usually pulls up all of that. As this has been awesome. I mean, I love talking to you all the time. No matter what we're talking about. Do you have any other thoughts to share with people on this topic, or I mean, you have my entire community who's listening to you right now.
Say anything
So
I want.
I think
I have carte blanche. This is so cool. The
yeah,
power.
I mean, I can edit.
Oh,
If
you
it's
have
like
to.
edit, and it's like, okay, bye, right? And then you guys will know that Roxy said
Bad
something.
connection.
That, yeah, do you have any last thoughts on email, and then maybe any other encouragement for our community?
I appreciate that. Yeah. So one, just do it. Don't overthink it. Just start somewhere. Just do it. I always think like there's that one person. If you think about when you write your emails, you're not writing to, hey, you guys, or hey, y'all. I'm from Texas. We say y'all, but I'm not addressing all of you at one time. And that actually makes it feel less personal. So when I'm speaking to them in my email is to you as a person, because they're receiving it as a me. They're not receiving it they don't know you sent it to us.
Yeah.
Right. So it has to be personal. This is for you. And so when I think about that one person in my downline that doesn't have that support. And so I'm addressing her. And so it comes across that way. When they read it, they're like, I feel like you're speaking to me. And it's supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be, hey, all of you people, here's
an announcement.
Hear ye, people of the court. Yeah, no. It's like, no, this is for you. And when you think about when you're writing your email like that, people feel it. They can feel like that you're speaking to them and that you care. And so that'll come across. So I just say, just do it. What's the worst? Obviously the worst thing that can happen is that you send it to your entire downline and people yell at you. So I've already done that and I survived. So it's going to be okay. Yeah. Cool. There's too many people out there to help to be afraid or whatever you think is keeping you back. So just get it done.
That's so good. Any other encouragement?
Just keep going, keep leveling up. Don't there's no coasting in life and in our business. So when you think, oh, just going to take a couple months and coast and relax and take a break, we're actually like going back because there is no coasting in any area of our life. We're either growing or we're dying. And so you get to choose. And that's the power that we have, is that we get to choose. And if you choose growth, then there's work with that. So, but what else would we be doing?
What else would we be doing?
I know. I mean, we're too young. We're too young to just like sit and eat bonbons by the pool or whatever. Like that's cool, I guess. But there's just
too much boring after a while.
Yeah, after a while,
Where's the drama? Okay. Where's the drama in that?
Yeah. So go help some more people. There's joy in that.
Thank you so much, Roxy.
You're welcome.
This was perfect and completely unrehearsed and everything that I hoped it would be. So thank you so much for sharing so generously with our community.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone.